cannot wait for you to hear my interview with Brock and Tom from Rota Disc Golf, the YouTube channel. They're best known for making wonderful videos that go and break down the pros' form and why they choose certain discs. And not only that, but their story, the pros' story about why they do what they do and their background. These guys, after interviewing with them, it's become evident that they're really the true good people in disc golf. There's actually a lot of bad people, especially YouTube channels that I've had run-ins with. These guys are quality, and you'll hear that from our conversation. Not only do they mean well, but they produce high-quality videos that are so informational. And as a coach, disc golf coach, and running Seeker Disc Golf in my training facility here, I just so align with them. So please enjoy the conversation with Tom and Brock from Rota Disc Golf. All right, so I'm here with Team Rota. I've got Brock and Tom. You guys have probably seen the videos that they've produced. Wonderful, just very detailed quality videos. Go check them out on YouTube, ROTA. And my favorite video, I was just telling you guys, is the one with Gannon Burr. And a close second is Clint Calvin. I have a bias toward them because I like both of them. But really solid videos you guys just came out with. The one with Simon and how he won his first championship. So, or not first, probably. It seems like a first since it's been a while for him, but
Yes.
really quality videos. Thanks for joining me, man, or guys, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for having us, David.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, so we're talking to the Seeker Disc Golf audience and on YouTube here. So a lot of people who I relate with and train, and why I built the Seeker method and the Seeker Disc Golf channel is because there's a lot of people out there in multiple different levels, and probably you guys would agree. One is like they've never played disc golf and they're a COVID baby and they really want to get better and probably join the sport. A lot of growth to disc golf in the last couple of years. The other people is individuals. Subsect is I played disc golf for a couple of years, 4 to 8, and I'm just having to relearn disc golf. That's who we're talking to as well. And then the other one is like you throw in a lot of like 50, 45-year-olds who are playing and want to have fun. And so with everything that's going on in disc golf, I think you guys have really pinched a nerve in a good way, meaning you're creating content that you want to see out there in the world. And you only have a couple videos. I don't know, I'm going to count, well, a decent amount, but you're already exploding and you're doing so well. So either one of you talk to me about, maybe you can just go Brock first, and then Tom, talk to me about your personal journey, about how you got started, kind of like what we were talking about before, and then how you finally got, what's your profession, and then how you got into disc golf.
Yeah, so I started playing disc golf in the early 2000s when I was in high school. And it was at the time just kind of something fun to play. No competitive element to it outside of a little bit of pride amongst friends. But grew up an athlete, so I was focusing on other sports, baseball, basketball. I played baseball in college, and so that's where my attention went. But post school, got into competitive disc golf just a little bit, and that's where kind of the bug really set in for me, as this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And so so that's kind of like my disc golf background, professionally or work wise. Kind of work in a family business, tons of fun. We're in the promotional products industry, and we're the company behind the inflatable noisemakers you see at sporting events. So we're kind of the ones responsible for manufacturing those. And
Talking to a very famous person right now, y'all. Like, this is like you make what sports fans love.
That's right. Those game day giveaways. That's right. Yes. And I think you either love them or hate them. You've had the experience of getting hit in the head with them, and wanting to kill the kid behind you, or
Yep.
or love them, and you're participating. So yeah, that's kind of, and that's what I do to this day, and as my full-time gig.
Brock's a pretty humble guy. We've played, what would you say, like over 50 rounds of disc golf together,
Sure.
maybe 70 rounds together. I've never beaten him. He
Oh no,
is that
really?
like you all have that friend who always beats you in disc golf. That's Brock. He
Yeah.
is that friend.
Oh, we all hate Brock.
There you go. The truth is out.
So Tom, what about you?
Yeah. So, by the way, we're based out of just outside of Washington D.C. We're in Northern Virginia, both of us. And so I started playing disc golf in 2010, and it was just kind of an extension of playing ultimate frisbee, and seemed fun, and didn't know a lot for many years, and would say only recently have like really started to dive into um, analyzing forms and pros and all that sort of thing. Um, but my full-time job is I have a personal training business. So but I went to school and grad school for strength and conditioning and exercise science. And so I've trained a lot of athletes, professional, collegiate, high school, kind of the whole spectrum, as well as a lot of folks just looking to stay in shape. So that's what I'm doing.
And then how'd you get into disc golf? Like, why did you start playing?
I started playing because my brother got a set for his birthday, and we just
Oh, you got one of those beginner sets?
yeah, and it was either my first throw or his first throw. I can't remember, but we lost the disc, like just never found it. But we had a couple other discs, so we just kept playing. But as you do, you start off really really bad, and you stay that way for a while, and then you slowly start to learn the ins and outs of it.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, I'm so excited to talk with you guys because I am a true fan of your channel, at Rota. Like, you guys make something that I enjoy, and that's coming from a disc golf coach and someone who has built this craziness behind me, which is my disc golf mini training center, or whatever you want to call it. My wife is so gracious, and so uh, I love what you guys are doing. The videos are phenomenal. Who decided? Which one of y'all decided to create Rhoda and kind of take that leap of faith? You guys got normal jobs. You enjoy disc golf, sports of all kinds. Tom, I love that you're a personal trainer type. In the videos, it really stands out. Number one, your voice is awesome. Number two, the way you explain how the pros might throw a certain way from the hyzer angles, video editing, just everything is just so cohesive and nice. Who decided to start Rhoda?
This guy.
So yeah, so I'll do the quick backstory, and then we can jump into the YouTube aspect. So yeah, so last summer I approached Tom about doing this together. We've always kind of discuss business together. He would come to me uh, with ideas, or ask questions about, hey, should I do this? I'd like to try this type of thing in my own personal business. And so we'd always just kind of talk and collaborate on that. And so it just kind of naturally led into, hey, like, I really want to do something around disc golf. It's something we're both passionate about. And we're both kind of in a stage of life where, like, we're ready to make this happen. We now have worked, in our professional jobs for 10 to 15 years, and we kind of feel like we're ready to take this leap and try something new on the side for now. And so that was last summer, and the original idea, and one that we're still working towards, is to kind of be this this business around providing a single location for disc releases and restocks, alongside with educational content and other helpful info for disc golfers. And so as we began down that road, we hit some bumps along the way, as everybody does, and said, you know what, this is going to take some time to really develop it the way we want it to be done. So let's attack this other idea that Tom actually had, which was the YouTube side. So I'll let Tom talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So we just I don't know, it was at some point we just watching all this, the coverage that everyone watches, right? The Jomez and Gatekeeper Media, and there's Central Coast Disc Golf and GK Pro. There's just so much good coverage out there. And so I just sort of got to thinking, like, what type of videos did we wish existed? And it kind of centered around, um, we just felt like there was a bit of a hole in the market for watching, having like shot breakdowns of professionals on tour. And a lot of the technique videos we saw was someone throwing in a field. And I always wanted to know, like, what disc are they throwing, and what are the conditions, like what's the wind, and so we just kind of, it evolved into this idea of, like, if we can take the shots that professionals are throwing on tour, and we can break them down to disc selection, shot type, conditions like wind, hills, um, you know, what's the strategy behind the hole. If we could just kind of dive into that, like, I felt like that would make me a better disc golfer if I could watch that. And so we just, it just seemed like something that that we wanted to be there. So we just made it.
Well, listen, I have no doubt that you're going to grow into a massive YouTube channel. No doubt. Like,
Thank you.
all the signs are there. I'm a marketer by profession. I will admit it. And I bring marketing into the disc golf world, try to, for multiple reasons. But what stood out to me was not only the quality of the videos, again, Tom's voice, the breakdowns. Uh, there's so many, it's so professional, and you're going to get there. You're going to, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to exceed farther than you thought.
Mm.
So, summary, website is just for someone to go. Someone can go to Rota right now, rotadiscgolf.com, right?
Yes, right.
And look at any new releases that they might be interested in and have links to go and then purchase them. So, correct?
Yeah, so admittedly, it's taken a little bit of a backseat to YouTube right now. But yes, that the ultimate goal is to create a web experience around that. So what we do, we don't sell anything ourselves. We are just a hub of where you can buy releases and come to know about when they're taking place, and when your favorite disc is going to be restocked. That sort of concept that's still in development. A lot of the legwork is being done right now. But yes, the site is live. We're still updating it semi regularly with, at minimum, the popular discs and the major releases. The restock side of things and some of the more, I would say, robust features are still being worked on.
So I know, like, if I'm big into disc golf, and I enjoy a certain level of disc, or I heard about some release because my buddy's telling me about it, I should probably go to Rota, because you guys have already taken the time to find out exactly where it's going to be released, all the details about it. Like, just go right to you guys first. Make sure I can find my restocks and any releases that I've heard out, in the buzz,
Yeah.
Breaker threes or something like that. Or I got one right here, right? So, one of these beautiful ones, right? So, right, is that correct?
Yeah, you got it. Rather than googling Breaker 3 and clicking on 10 different links and trying to figure out who's carrying it and is it in stock, we kind of essentially scour the web for you and put it all in one place.
Wonderful. Then the YouTube side is what I'm really aligned in, is helping people level up. That's why I created Seeker. That's why I created the Seeker method, and it's going so well. We've got a lot of members, and trying to say, how can I take one person and get them to here in the quickest amount of time,
Hmm.
right? What does that look like? How do we Disc golf is fluid in the most part. There's different ways to get to the same goal, but there are foundational pieces, right? And I haven't told you about this, and maybe you've looked at my website, but the Seeker method is like, mainly the 18-hole challenge. So it's like, when I say virtual course, it's like you can complete this course anywhere in the field in the entire world, and we force you to go through different holes, different levels, in order to force yourself to throw certain shots. Like, for instance, hole 4 is a 250-foot par 3, and you have to throw a putter dead straight and land within a 40-foot circle, and you have to do that 6 out of 10 times. That's challenge one. The second challenge is you have to putt 20 feet 6 out of 10 times. And then if you do those two challenges, then you move on to the next hole, right? You
Right.
can't move on until you do that. Why? Because the pros do that. And that's what they told me. Joel Freeman was like, if you cannot throw a mid range 250 feet um, sidearm low to the ground without wobble consistently, you should not be throwing anything else. Guess what? That blows everybody else in the water because they freaking get their driver and throw forehands, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to enter in a new standard. And so when you guys make those wonderful videos, you're informing us of why the pros do what they do. I don't have you made a video about the Paul Macbeth, how he throws a stupid Luna 400 feet? Have you made one like that?
Oh, we haven't.
No, no Luna video yet.
Okay. Well, you know my point is like you guys are informing a new generation of the standards that the pros do, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm just doing the same thing, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I really love what you guys are doing. Where are you going? What's the next step for Rhoda and both y'all?
Yeah, the YouTube is our biggest focus at the moment, and really we're learning a lot as we do this. And what it started out as almost pure uh, shot breakdown style videos. It's quickly evolving into taking it a step further and really telling a better story alongside those shot breakdowns. Who is it exactly that we're watching? What's their background? What makes them good? How do they get to this point of being on tour and worthy of a breakdown, essentially? So we're really wanting to tell the story of disc golf, of pros today, perhaps even of the past eventually. Obviously, we have the footage at our disposal now as much as ever, and so we're trying to capitalize on that and just share our perspective on what we can learn from it, our analysis of that. Um, taking the experience we have as being both multi-sport collegiate athletes, um, Tom being a coach who is trained to look at an individual and study their mechanics and know how the body works. We're just combining all of those things into something that we love. And hard to say exactly where this is going, as we like I said, we're learning so much as we do this. But the goal is to continue down this path of providing helpful educational content, and also some that's entertaining as well, because that's we all want to have a little fun too. So that's kind of the
Superstars. YouTube superstars is where you guys are going.
we'd like to think so. We hope so.
Well, I'm so excited to see where you guys are going. I'm just curious, does how does that work with the whole footage thing? Like, do you ask all the coverage footage to be used, or is it just like kind of like I'll use it until they get mad or something?
Good.
Well, I don't talk about fair use.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, the short answer is there's what's known as fair use compliance, and um, it permits individuals to use copyrighted footage if you check off a certain number of boxes, right? And the most important thing being, is your work transformative? So does what you do with the footage create something that is significantly different or changed from the original footage?
Yeah.
And it's a we've done a lot of looking into it. It's a pretty big gray area, in terms of like, does this qualify or not? But you know, we we just, we're not intending to just take someone else's work and just profit off of that and grow off of that. We want to turn it into something much deeper than what the original footage was, and that's kind of what the goal's always been.
I think you have, and I'm not trying to. I was just so I'm a marketer, and I know exactly what fair use is.
Sure.
but sometimes people are just curious, and I like to ask the fun questions. So not to
Sure.
you guys, I think you guys are absolutely using that correctly, and yeah, there are some gray areas, but ultimately, I think what you're doing is like I said, fantastic, and I cannot wait to see where you guys are going. What would you want my audience to do, and how would they want you to support? Because I only bring on people I support. You know,
Cool.
I don't want to just bring on everybody's grandma on here and talk about it. But how can they support you? What can they do to really give you a lift?
Appreciate that. Yeah, the biggest thing is, I'd say that the two obvious things would be one, subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's where like I said, we're putting a large part of our effort into. Second would be going to our website and signing up for our email list and our newsletter. So those two things would support us tremendously. That's what's going to kind of give us the ability to continue doing this.
Yeah, and we feel like the most valuable thing you could do is to engage with us on those platforms, on YouTube. Like, um, we can see the number of views that we get, but it's really from the comments and the feedback that we're able to that we're able to know who you are, and know that you're watching and following along, and we have a lot of folks who have been doing that, which has been great. So if it's something you like, if you have any suggestions, players you'd like to see videos of, please let us know. Like, we definitely read all those comments.
Well, I'm telling you, you guys are the good guys. There's actually some disc golfers out there and channels who I don't suggest supporting. So these are the good guys. These I really respect you all, and just having a quick conversation with you before we started recording this, I can tell your heart is really solid, and everything you do is met with excellence. I just cannot wait to see where you guys are going. Last thing, real quick, what is your favorite video that you guys have done on the channel, and why? Because I love how Tom, with your background in training and sports mechanics, and probably more that I don't even know, you break it down in such an easy to understand way. But for both Brock and Tom, what are your favorite videos, and why?
I would say so far the Seppo Payu video and
654.
looking at
Yep.
how we can throw so far, and part of
Yeah.
the reason why that's not, I mean, pure, clearly what he did is, and how he throws is you know excellent. But it stretched us as creators, and I think that's why I like it the most. We tried new things. We're testing new approaches to this, and it really taught us a lot. And so my answer is probably going to be different than any viewers would be, but
Yeah.
that's a lot to do with it.
Did you sit there and just be like, how the heck does this guy, did you sit there and scratch your head a little bit when you were analyzing it? Because whatever he does, like, what
Yeah.
was that like?
I think our workflow is usually like we kind of come together with some ideas, and at least for me, like, if we decide, like, okay, we're going to do this Sepapaya video, we're going to talk about distance. He threw this crazy long shot at Goat Hill. So I just watch the video, and I just, for like a day, I just think about it, and I don't actually start creating content until it's just like been marinating, and um and then it just kind of comes out. We do a lot of research, as much as we're able to. um there's a lot of good videos of players breaking down their own form. Seppo has one of
Mhm.
him breaking down his own shot. So it's like, stuff like that. It all kind of just comes together into this, like, I don't know if you want to call our video like a meta analysis, but um, just like a fusion of all of that research.
So then, Tom, what's your favorite video and why?
So I actually I really like the Chris Dickerson video that we made from 2021 Worlds, and it's one of our oldest videos, and it's one of our most underperforming videos. So when we first launched our channel, we had 10 videos and we released them all on the same day.
Yeah.
And um, Brock and I, we had no idea like how the channel was going to do, if anyone was going to like it or think we didn't know anything or whatever. And so we both looked at each other. We're like, we think this is the best video of the 10, this Chris Dickerson one, and I think,
Is it the Chris Dickerson pinpoint accuracy?
Yeah.
yeah. So, and he was throwing his FX2, which was like his bread and butter. And I think, I don't know, it was just like a moment during that video where like the editing for me just like started to really click. And because we saw this footage and I didn't know like how we were going to actually edit it and how the videos were going to work. And I had an idea in my mind. And I think it was during that video where I really just felt like, I don't know, just like a sense of confidence with the editing process, I guess. And so it just kind of holds a special place in my heart for that.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. My Seeker team will do members and everybody. Please go out and support Rota. You guys are doing wonderful things, and hope we can collab here in the future. You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to. And thanks for having us on. I'll go ahead and say we love what you're doing. In our kind of like our pre-call, we talked a lot about just kind of professionalism and just how great of a job you're doing. And so we're big fans and appreciate you having us on.
Love it, guys. We'll collab soon. Okay.
All righty.
Yeah, thanks,
Sounds
David.
good. Appreciate it.